Yo guys, Keyshawn Ochia here, and today we're gonna make a new alternate universe. What if? But I want to make an announcement, and this is going to be a very serious one. Oh wait, my bad. Hold on, let me just. Boop, boop, boop. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is going to be an announcement for the rest of the series. If you want a part 2, part 3, or part 4, you have to like the videos, all right? We have to get them up to 20 or 30 likes, or up to like or up to 50 likes. And I will continue working on the series because I can't really work on these series if y'all really don't like them. And I know we only don't have a lot of subscribers, and I know we only have up to 100, but we're still trying to get this stuff. I'm trying to get this stuff done, but for me to get this stuff done, I need y'all to like it because, like I said, I'm doing this for y'all. I'm not doing this for myself, really. I'm working my butt off to entertain y'all, and I really want to do my best. But for me to do that, I need y'all to like. I need y'all to hit that like button. I need y'all to subscribe and also do the bell button. I know many YouTubers say this and say that and say, oh, they're going to make more videos if y'all do this. But this time I'm really serious. If y'all like it up to 20 likes and 30, I will make a new video every day. Okay? But anywho, this idea was really of a subscriber idea. Alpha, he was there. This is a idea by Alpha. Shouts out to you. You're the guy. You're the man. You always been there for me. No homo. No, I'm joking, but he been there for me. And this is gonna be an 18 only. All right. For a lot of reasons, it's going to be death, sex, and pretty much that's it. No butt stuff. Because I know that one subscriber who was asking for butt stuff. No butt stuff. All right. But yeah, this is gonna be what if Deku had the Infinity Gauntlet, but I'm gonna do it differently. This is gonna be what if Deku had the Infinity Stones instead of the Gauntlet. Now, how's this gonna happen? Well, we're gonna switch off to the Yakuza. Actually, no, we're gonna switch off to Deku being born. Now, no, actually to the Yakuza, because we're gonna say the meteor crashed down. The Yakuza found the stones. Now the stones are let's say radioactive. Now the Yakuza, got the stones and they was testing it on people, and people was dying of the stones, and they don't know. Maybe it's not the right person, so they right now looking for the right person for these couple of years. Now we're gonna switch off to Deku being born as a baby. Everything happens the usual and the same, except for his life is much worse. He got his arm blown off by Bakugo when they was kids. Actually, no, when they was a little bit over. I'm gonna say Bakugo blew off his arm like a dick, and didn't care about it. So he went to juvenile jail, and also had to do community service for blowing off Deku's arm. Deku, is very depressed and sad because he has no quirk and all that. We're gonna say, and Deku mom has a sickness where she's dying, so it's just extra worse for Deku. Now Deku is looking online, trying to find a job or something to find a cure to help out his mom and all that stuff. Until yeah, until he sees a online website saying that if you want a quirk, do you want a quirk, do you want a power, like do you want power to and money to help out your loved ones and stuff and all that, nail down all the coffin for Deku, because Deku needs all that. So this is where Deku do the survey. He got accepted, right? He goes with his one arm, and he's going to the place, right? He gets captured by the Yakuza. He been gone for about 2 weeks, and he's been been getting experiments on. Now I'm going to say it's this is gonna be 18 only, whatever. So this is why. We're gonna say this is where Deku gets experimented on. Now first they tie Deku up and they have the Infinity Gauntlets. Now they are pretty much opening up Deku's skin. Actually, no, they're actually shoving the stones in Deku's back, and it's right now. I'm gonna say the Infinity Stones are like fusing with Deku, and it's like very painful. So Deku's like screaming and stuff and crying, and they're like connecting them as like lines and stuff, and it's all connected like dots. So, or you could say like all connected to each other now. And then of course the lines, and then they create like wires, or should I say lines on his back, so they can all connect to each other. This is where Deku gets injected by two needles in two of the sides of his neck, and he gets a regeneration quirk to regenerate, and a strengthening, so the his body won't blow up or like get or deteriorate or anything or none of that. So Deku gets both, and they work with each other very well. Now the experiment was a success. They're speaking about it and stuff. So they start testing out Deku, drugging him up, testing him out, uh, letting him test out the abilities of the Infinity Gauntlet and stuff. He's testing out like the Power Stone, the Time Stone, the Soul Stone, and all that. I will explain the stones on the next part, but not this one because I worked on this like 3 times and my brain is right now dying. So he's pretty much testing out the Power Stone with the strength and stuff, and then he's testing out the Time Stone. Pretty much stopping time, and he's going back in time, but he's like so tired that he goes back, like he's going back, forward and present and stuff, and he doesn't know what else. So he's testing out everything, like the Mind Stone, where to teleport and stuff, and he doesn't know where he's at, so he's like teleporting left and right, and this is where he's using the Soul Stone to like uh kind of like take things souls away to get stronger, or like bringing things back to life. And this is where he's secretly doing the Space Stone because he knows what he can do. And the Yakuza, they don't watch him half the time, so he's using it secretly. And I should probably tell you, All For One is a female in this for a certain reason. I'm going to tell you why. Now I'm going to tell you why later. You're going to enjoy it. But Deku sees understanding the Reality Stone and what he can really do with it more, because now like the Yakuza have injected with an intelligent quirk, like very intelligent, because I'm gonna say because they want him to be very intelligent to like understand his quirk 100%. So it's like a very high IQ. So his IQ is up to like of a genius, you could say. Now this is where Deku is in his cell, and this is where All-Fan comes in, and she does her thing. I'm gonna say she has her face still because she got beat up by All Might but not killed, and got her face smashed in. So this is where she comes in, and Deku sees her, and she comes in, and she them man do both of them guys, they do the thing and do the deed, and they kind of have sex, you could say. Now, Deku's laying in the bed, sleeping, while she gets back up, dressed, and she kisses him on the lip, and go on, start walking out in the talisman say, and she says keep an eye on her little thing, or little love thing, you could say. And this is where Deku is pretty much pretty much is pretty much ready to escape, and he kills the whole facility, destroying it, kills everybody in it, and he's pretty much heading home. This is when he comes in and he sees his mom pretty much on the ground, uh, well, pretty much in the hospital. Well, he pretty much trying to figure out where's his mom, and uh, Bakugo's mom tells him what's happening and what's pretty much going on, and he goes to the hospital seeing his mom pretty much dying, and he uses a soul stone to, or you could say soul and time stone together to heal his mom back to full health, and giving her youth back and stuff. Now she gets up all perfectly fine and healing. She sees her son and she starts crying, saying, "Deku, is that you?" He says, "Yeah." They hug and stuff and start heading back. Now we're going to do when they head home. Deku rewrites his reality. He keeps everything. He just makes them rich, and make himself a little bit more intelligent, and make himself like loved by everybody. You could say. Now we're gonna do the start of the anime. Uh, Deku pretty much walking school while boys and girls are around him, saying, "Can we walk together?" All that, and Deku saying yeah, and he's talking to him and laughing and all that. But when he looks at Bakugo, he gives him that "I'm going to fuck you up if you try something to me" move. And Deku's walking, and sorry, he's pretty much going up. Well, they're pretty much going to school, and as when Deku sits, he put his feet on the desk because the teachers they really don't care because he's like the smartest and a powerful kid in the school. So, and the female teachers, they've been smashing Deku, so they regularly don't say anything and they blushes and want some of that vitamin D anytime. They be doing it sometimes in the other classrooms, but we're switching. Well, none of that. Well, we're gonna continue. Like when the girls look at Deku, girls want to be with him. Boys want to be him, and some gay boys want to suck him. No homo. But let's continue on. We're gonna do the pretty much the start. Of the teacher pretty much walking in. Female teacher. She sees Deku blushing, but she does the whole speech and she says, "Oh, what I'm kidding. All y'all want to be heroes." You know. Uh, Bakugo stands up and basically I should tell you, Deku is a psychopath. I should probably add that in. I forgot to tell y'all that. He's a psychopath due to the Infinity Gauntlets and the radioactive of the radiation. It made him a psychopath. So he's not like, oh, I'm going to kill everybody. He's more like Jocho that yada yada, I don't give a fuck. But if you get in my way, I will murk you in that way. So Deku's pretty much, reading his book and stuff. And, the teacher looked and she said, "Oh, it's only one person who signed up to be going to the UA, and it's Bakugo." And Bakugo said, "Yeah, I'm gonna do all this and do that. All y'all losers are gonna just be nothing and just get regular jobs." This is where Deku, well, Bakugo pretty much says that, and this is where Deku closes his book and says, "All right, I'm signing up to go to the UA." And the teacher said, "What, really? I think you'll be a splendid hero." Uh, Deku says, "No, I'm being honest with you, Teach. I'm not doing it to become a hero. I'm doing it just to spite Bakugo right now because he thinks he's the shit and he's really not with his explosion terrorist quirk." And this is where Bakugo. This is where everybody said, "Ooh, shit, damn." And this is where Bakugo gets angry. It says, "What you say, you damn nerd?" And Deku pretty much says, "You heard what I said." And he pretty much teleports out of there and just like walks away. He says, "You know where I live at. You can catch these hands, all that." And he start heading home with his book bag and stuff. We're gonna start with the bridge. Well, we're gonna go with not start with the bridge. We're gonna continue off with the bridge. Deku's pretty much heading to the bridge, walking, and we're gonna say this sludge villain is a female, and she's going and trying to let's say try to take over Deku's body because she just tried to find anybody at this point. uh the Sub-Zero, touches Deku, and Deku has that physical prowess and all that, plus with the Finning Gardens. Uh, Deku pretty much uses I'm gonna say the Reality Stone that fixes her quirk, and he pretty much turns her back, and she pretty much back to normal and she's naked. Well, pretty much. But she can turn into a slug and not a slug. And she's asking what did he do to her? And Deku, does a smirk and says, "Well, I pretty much fixed your quirk. Now, is there a reward for me?" She says, "A reward?" He says, and he basically comes up on her. He does a tongue kiss and grabs her ass. And she's blushing, and she says, and she looks away, saying, "Are you done yet?" And he says, "Oh no, I'm not done yet." And he basically goes in for another kiss, and he tells her like, "Now I'm done. You can go now." She pretty much goes away, and she says to call her. Well, she says call me, but she thinks about it later, saying, "Wait, I don't have a phone." But we start with All Might coming down, saying, "I am here, All Might," and Deku says, "Oh hey, All Might," and uh, All Might says, "Oh, hello, who, he says, have you seen a such really?" They start talking. Deku saying, no, lying about it because after what he just did. But but he's basically saying, "Oh, okay," but he's basically talking to Deku, saying, uh, if and Deku asks for autograph, in which All Might does that, and Deku says well, he's gonna be going now to go to the beach. Once he's gonna be going home and then heading to the beach to train. And All Might says, "All right," which All Might thinking, maybe he can be a successor. And he asks what's his quirk, and Deku says, "Oh, I have no quirk, but I know I can be a hero if I train hard enough and be determined, But I do have some strength and some power and stuff. All Might's confused because he says, "You don't have a quirk, then why you say you have power?" He says, "Oh, I do." And Deku's not gonna tell him, but he says he just have power. So Deku heads to the beach, and he sees All Might, and Deku says, "What do you do here, All Might?" He says, "Well, I'm here to see you do your training, all that." And plus, All Might's trying to see if he's the perfect candidate for the, all for one. No, well, one for all, pretty much. And Deku's trying to, he does the thing and all that. And I'm going to say all for one is pretty much looking, and she's like wet down her pants and pretty much, looking at, the one that got away. And she's like saying, saying, "Oh, there he is." And she sees all for one saying, "What is he doing with him?" And all I see is Deku finish the beach and all that stuff, and with his single barons, and he buff up and all that, and Deku, all my asks him the thing, and Deku says yeah, accepting it, and he gets the all for one quirk. Now, I'm gonna say the all for one quirk. I mean, not the all for one quirk. I'm so sorry. The one for all quirk pretty much gives Deku the full like access to his stones, so now he can like use them without like feeling drained, and he can also use 2 at once or like 3 at once. So that's what it does, and he can pretty much use the short fast and use full calling at 100%. All right, because I want Deku to be broken in this. All right, but continue off. All Might is basically saying, "Are you going to the thing?" And Deku says, "Yeah, he is," and he says, "All right, I hope to see you there." Deku says, "Yeah." So Deku is pretty much going to pretty much he heads home to get some rest, and Inko left a note saying she's going to the spa and stuff for right now, and for 2 days. And Deku says, "All right," and this is where All For One knocks on the door. While Deku's coming in, she comes in and says, "Miss me." Deku says, "It's you," and she leans in and kisses him and doing all the tongue kissing and all that shit, and she basically said she misses him, and they pretty much do the thing, and I'm gonna say Deku is pretty much laying in the bed with her, and she's basically talking to him and basically saying that she gave him a gift, and he's pretty much asking what is the gift, and she says that she gave him her quirk off one, and he's saying off one, what does it do? And she basically explains the whole mechanic of what he can do. He can give quirks, take away quirks, or he can do a lot of things. He says, "Huh, I see you." She says, "But don't tell no one, all right?" And he says, "All right." He says, "All right," and they pretty much continue like doing being with each other and doing stuff, sex stuff, no butt stuff, right? Sex stuff. But we're gonna start with Deku pretty much waking up, and he teleports there to the interest exam, and we're going to leave this into a part 1 of what if Deku had the Infinity Stones. All right. Now, leave a like. Leave this. Let's get this up to 20 likes. All right. If you want a part 2. All right. But I want to thank y'all for really being there and watching my videos. Leave a like. Share this with your friends. Get this up to 20 likes if you want a part 2. I'm Keisha Chia. Thanks for watching and see ya.